In this video we will look at the AI assistant built into nov8law. I only wanted to show the AI later, but we received a few queries about the AI assistant, so here goes. Each paying user receives 1 million credits per month, which is included in the subscription. This should be more than enough for general use. Trial accounts, they receive 10,000 credits per day, which is enough for at least one complex query a day or a few simple ones. At nov8law we promote the responsible use of AI, with the emphasis on responsible. The AI assistant is standalone, meaning that it doesn't have access to any of your Microsoft data or the data in nov8law. So privacy is not a concern, since the AI assistant only has access to the information that you provide it. AI should not and is not a replacement for you, but it's a tool. It's better to start with a template of 10 pages than on a clean page, or at least to be guided in a direction during your own research. I have a few sample requests for the AI that I will use to demonstrate how it works and how to get the best use out of it. So just to show that it doesn't have access to any of my personal information, I can ask what is my last email. And there it says it's unable to access my personal inbox. Or I can ask what is in my calendar. And I get more or less the same response. As you can see, this previous request cost 731 credits, so it's marginal in terms of the 1 million that you receive every month, and this one was 972. So let's start a new one. So here I have a meeting in 2 days with a client about retrenchment of staff, but I don't know much about retrenchments. Give me a crash course on retrenchments. And since I want the best information, I will enable thinking mode. It costs a bit more, but at least I will get a more detailed response. So while the answer is preparing, you can show the reasoning, which will then show you what the AI considers when drafting the response. And now it's complete. So here's your crash course on retrenchments. So it at least guides you in the right direction to do your own research and to check whether these references to case law is indeed correct. So there you have selection criteria, severance pay, substantive fairness, and a quick checklist for your meeting. Okay, and that request was with thinking mode enabled, 2501 credits. If we start a new one, we can draft a commercial lease between ABC Pty Limited as landlord and XYZ Pty Limited as tenant. Monthly rental is 100,000, payable on the 7th of each month, and I tell it that I act for the landlord. Let's enable thinking mode for this as well. So there's your draft commercial lease agreement, interpretation, lease and duration, rent, deposit, utilities, use, maintenance, breach, suretyship, jurisdiction, signature page, and then a note to the user about the applicability of the Consumer Protection Act, payment date, suretyship, VAT, and section 155 of the Companies Act. Now we will see how this AI can handle PDF documents. We will say summarize this judgment, and I've downloaded the BK tooling judgment, which is quite long and it's in Afrikaans, so we will see how it deals with that. And this judgment is 72 pages, so we can attach it there. attach the long judgment and say send. So here's your summary of a 72-page judgment that is in Afrikaans, and it also refers to it as a landmark judgment, and it's summarized in, let's say, about 4 to 6 pages. It also gives you a note of things you can consider in that judgment. Then we have another judgment to really test the abilities of the AI, and that is a scanned judgment, and it's not very clearly scanned. I've not tried this before, so let's see how it goes. So there we have the case overview, nature of the proceedings. So even on a poorly scanned document, the AI can read what goes on and summarize the judgment for you. And then a last one, just to show you the web search. We can search for Trump and Venezuela, enable web search, and send. So this will ensure that the most current information is provided. So we can see that as of late December 2025 and January 2026, the situation has shifted from diplomatic pressure to direct kinetic intervention. It mentions the capture of the president and then goes on about things that I don't really care about. Alright, so this request cost 64,000 credits. That is to show that the web search is quite demanding on the number of credits, and we have also disabled the web search for any follow-up questions, and that is simply how we deal with the context of the AI, or in other words, what it knows about the conversation that you are having. So if web search is now enabled for a follow-up question, all the web results for this initial request is saved as part of the context, and if you ask a follow-up question with the web search enabled, it sends all those previous web search results and search for them again and search about them. So then that cost can easily increase to 500,000 credits, which will eliminate half of your monthly allocation. And we've also added tips for better results, just to show that web search, use it for current information, but only on the first message, thinking mode, and then obviously the best strategy would be after you have used web search. You can then use thinking mode for any follow-up results or follow-up questions, because the AI will then consider the web results and think about them before responding. So I can ask, how does this impact South Africa? And I can enable thinking mode. And then it considers all the web results from the previous question and it gives a rather detailed explanation of how this impacts South Africa. And that's it. AI is there as a tool. Use it as a tool, not as a replacement, but it is definitely a valuable tool, and it can definitely assist you when you are tight on time and need to get some work done.